special consideration to our conservation partner, Release Over 20. It's catching on. Now, your host, Captain Bob.
Well, welcome to the show, all my fishy friends. I am really excited for today's show. Joining me is my good friend, Captain Jonathan Moss, and we're going to be bringing you the best of the best that we saw down at ICAST 2026. But before we get with that, well, you know how I roll, so why don't you head on over to Instagram and find us there at On the Hook with Captain Bob. Then, once you're done with that, well, might as well just cruise on over to Facebook and find us there at On the Hook with Captain Bob. And don't forget to tag us in your outdoor photos so we can share them with our listening audience. Once again, what an awesome show that we've got for you today. Like I mentioned, we're going to be talking the best 10 products that we found down at ICAST this year. It's going to be a double episode right here, starting with On the Hook with Captain Bob. Then we're going to be carrying it over and finishing off that top 10 list on my good friend show, Captain Jonathan Moss, with the Captain's Log Radio. But let's just go ahead and get Captain Moss in here. I got to give you the donut rundown, but we're going to bring Captain Moss in right now before I get to that, because it's a jam-packed show today. So, Cap, welcome to the show, my friend. It's been a minute since we had you on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bro, hey, it's Monday morning. Can you believe that we are a week out of ICAST already?
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I don't know about you, but I've already got the date for next year in my calendar saved. And I love ICAST the whole week. And I want to talk about that. We'll probably dive deeper into that on my show. But now I feel like I've got a year. We've got a year to try out these new products. We've got a year to educate our listeners, our anglers about these products, about what we're doing on our water, in our estuaries. There's a lot going on over the next year. But this is week one, buddy. And I'm looking a little rough. I know, if those who are watching, I need to trim my beard and shave. You know, I took a day off from ICAST. That was good. I've been running some charters, been catching up on some things around the house. But here we are, buddy, rocking and rolling. Top 10 ICAST products that we found this year, ICAST 2026.
You know, and ICAST is always a great hit. It's a great time to get out and see all of our friends as well. You know, it gives us an opportunity to kind of yuck it up a bit too, and really get into some of those new products. And like you said, it gives us the opportunity for the next year to go ahead and test some of those out. Now, some of the products that we're going to be talking about, you can go out and get right now. Some of them will be released soon. Of course, ICAST and the new product showcase is where the manufacturers bring the products that they intend to launch. Some of them will be out by holiday season, right? By Christmas time. And yeah, man, I'm super excited about that. Jam-packed 2 shows. We're doing it again, right? Back to back. We're going to start here with the, I guess, 10 through 6, and then we'll end up with 1 through 5 on the Captain's Log Radio coming up next.
Yeah, now listen, guys, we did it that way last year as well. It's only because the On the Hook with Captain Bob airs first. So there's no anything going on here. It's just coincidence with the timing of our shows. But yes, 10 to 6 with Captain Bob and 5 to 1 on my show. So stick around. We've got a lot to talk about over the next 2 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice jam-packed 2 hours here on the Captain's Corner right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. Now, Cap, before we get into the first one on the top 10 list, and I know that it's a big list, so we're going to have to get through it, but I got to give everybody my donut rundown of the day. Now,
do it, buddy. It wouldn't be your show if we didn't talk about some donuts.
I mean, you know, I have to. Now, I've got to say, today, as you can see, Cap, this is actually not a donut. Now, this might be a couple of weeks in a row now that I don't have a donut. I've gone off track with my breakfast pastry. However, you will understand why. This is a bakery fresh. Bakery fresh is the key, not, you know, a supermarket. And some supermarkets make good ones, but a bakery fresh s'mores sugar cookie. And it's one of them fast ones. Yeah, and it's one of them soft ones too. So I will be enjoying that with my fine cup of Italian coffee. Cap, sorry you don't have a donut in front of you this morning, but I've got enough sugar here for the both of us.
So that's about right, buddy.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So listen, we've got about 5 minutes left in the segment here. I want to start with number 10 on the list. Now, this particular product is very innovative. And Cap, you know that one of the big things in the fishing world right now is the onset of motorized kayaks, right? And even
Yes.
motorized stand-up paddle boards.
Yeah.
And down at ICAST, there were let's say there were no lacking numbers of motorized options for kayakers out there. Now, the one that made number 10 on the list happens to be the Ventral Kayak dual motor, and it's an add-on kayak that they launched right there at ICAST. This thing happens to be, it'll let you go up to 6 miles an hour, and it has dual props. So imagine this. Imagine if you're on your center console and you've got twin outboards, right? You can maneuver your vessel nice and easy. If you've got a 64-foot Hatteras and you've got twin diesels, right? You've got those dual props. Now you're able to maneuver your vessel nice and easy. This particular trolling motor for your kayak has twin props, twin propellers on the bottom. Totally crazy.
Now, listen, this was something back in the 70s and 80s that was done on flat skiffs in Homosassa, in Crystal River, in the Gulf, on the Gulf side of Florida for chasing tarpon. Okay, this was developed then on a skiff, on a boat. So now you've got this same concept on a paddleboard, but things have changed. On a kayak, things have changed so much. This is not a big, bulky system. This is a smaller system that goes into these kayaks, allowing you to really cover a lot of ground faster and quiet and efficiently. You're not having to have that outboard with either a little battery to crank it and gas. It could be you're saving some weight and some steps here, but you do need to have a trolling motor battery that can run this thing and last you all day. So there is some components there that you need to take in consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing with some of the innovation in that realm of motorized kayaks, including the Ventral Kayak dual trolling motor system, this particular one is a smart trolling motor. So in other words, it has the spot lock in it. It has the ability to set your waypoints and get you there. That's something that, just a few years ago would have been unheard of in the trolling motor world, unless you went out and put on a saltwater trolling motor or bass boat trolling motor on your kayak, right? So now they have really developed into something that's not only smaller, more efficient, but actually plays a great role in your day of fishing, because again, now you've got the ability to get to and from your spot, wonderful maneuverability, and you've got the ability to hold yourself there, and it's easier to fish now because you could set up your waypoints and that motor will actually take you to that spot. You can set up an entire troll, if you will.
Yeah.
And again, I just think it's very innovative to come out with something with a dual propeller.
It's cool that we were both able to see this on Tuesday on the water display for ICAST. You ventured out on a couple of different models out there. I just kept my feet on solid ground because I did not want to be the guy that ended up on the qualified captain at ICAST falling in the water. But it was cool to see that new product in action there in the water on Tuesday before the floor opened up on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, indeed, I did have the opportunity. I will not say that I was strong-armed by a fellow host of ours, former UFC heavyweight Adam the Prototype Milstead, said, "Hey, Cap, get on the kayak." Yes, sir. No problem. And I'm not saying that I might have ended up on the qualified captain, because there may have been a little collision there with a couple of kayaks that happened to be motorized, and Captain Bob might have been in the middle of it, but I'm not saying that I was the one that hit the gas. because they're battery operated. But Cap, if you don't mind, we're going to go ahead and take this first break. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and pick up with number 9 and continue to run through that list. For all of our listeners, you stick around as well. You're on the hook with Captain Bob.